And what a hectic game it could be. Snapper can out Clambless for the start.
Ooh, starting out game one. Remember, at home, this is a best of 5, so game one will be Snapper, Clamblitz, and then, so on the side of judges, we're seeing, oh, okay, first of all, I love that we're seeing the Hydra coming out, and then on the other side, their anchor of choice is, on Bugman's, is actually the ballpoint.
Those are two that I wasn't expecting to see, but both very pleasant surprise. The ballpoint has always been a very interesting slot link for me to use personally, and like getting a chance to see it in competitive play always pleasant.
Yeah, definitely don't see ballpoints or Hydras a lot. And speaking of the Hydra going to go down on the side of Judges, Sombra leading this charge here and getting those picks and also getting this bomb rush off to add pressure and get map control. So right now, Bugsman just needs to keep scoring clams. They need to get clams if they want to keep this basket open. We got to see Dan use that Booyah Bomb to just keep stalling that out, though finally Dan is going to get called out here. And just like that, the pressure added on from Bugman's, the continuation to go back and get clams, they are going to take game one.
Yeah, and in very impressive fashion, they managed to do so. They get onto the point really easily. They break their net. Then we see all the specials fly. Typically, the specials are used in Clamblitz where we see them sort of protect the person who's going to break the net. And you know, like I said earlier, it's traditional for a reason. With a game like that, though, it's like you get into the point, you break the net, the specials follow. How do you really stop that pressure at that point? It becomes overwhelming, and ultimately that's what we saw with a knockout off the first play.
Yeah, and definitely having a knockout, like you said, with the pressure of continuous specials. I like, too, that they didn't use them all at the same time. They kind of staggered them out, because having the staggered out with the bomb rush first and then staggering out that a little bit while their teammates go back to get clams and using that Booyah Bomb, I think that played out really well for them. And they definitely made sure that they were aware of their clam economy and knew that, hey, we need to have someone go back and get clams. And it just really kind of synergized really well together.
Yeah, no, it looked like just one super cohesive play that was just really well executed. Like, there's not much you can do about that. It doesn't matter the level of talent behind your team. Like, if a team has an idea of their game plan and they execute it to that level of perfection, they're going to topple anyone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if no matter what team that was, I think that with that type of synergy, and I think I can't even say the word, cohesion, would say that.
Coordination?
Cohesion, that's the word I was looking for. That type of cohesion, you can't really match that if you're trying to go back into that.
Well, we'll see if we get an opportunity to see that cohesion once again as we move into, what game did we say? Oh, it's Rainmaker time.
Yeah, starting out here, game 2 on Rainmaker Blackbelly. So on the side of Bugman's, I like that we're seeing Mothman on that Jet Squelcher. Of course, that is a very well-known anchor weapon for this map and mode in particular. Dan here leading this charge, getting 2 picks right away, and is going to go for this third one here. Lou Money, though, able to jump out and try and get in a position to regroup with their team.
Yes, but we'll be 2 off for not. I stand corrected. We see the Rainmaker get picked immediately afterwards, and see how well they could bounce back from taking this ink control back as the Stinger tries to add even further pressure.
Yeah, we see Mothman actually here Stingraying in a really, really forward position and allowing, I saw in the back there, allowing their teammates to jump in, and that way they can continue the pressure that they have going. So you can see they're regrouping here and allowing Judgers to come into them with this map control that they have. Judgers there trying to grab the Rainmaker to get in a position to at least push the Rainmaker away from this pedestal. Though Hamrun is right there to answer that, is going to push up and armor up here. And this armor in the last portions of this push is going to be so deadly.
Whew. There is something to be said about how confident you have to be to play forward on this type of map. But they made it look real good. A very swift game 2 falling into favor of Bugman's Fry Force.
Yeah, Bugman's did, like, I loved, they're just playing really well together. You can tell that they know to back up together, they know to push up together, and you can see that type of synergy that they have. It's really, really showing through here.
Like, once again, we saw a very well executed push, and like they got into site fine. They weren't really in a position to just go for the immediate cap, but they were able to hold the Rainmaker in a really strong position for when Judgers did manage to push forward a little bit. They just weren't able to maintain that pressure themselves.
Yeah, we could see Judgers, you know, they Definitely, I loved, like, we saw Lou jump out, and that's really important to make sure that you jump out like that. You can see they tried to grab the Rainmaker to at least keep it away from their pedestal, because if Bugman's had swooped in there and maybe flanked around and grabbed that, that could have been really deadly. So you could definitely see Judgers has the right ideas in how they want to play this. They're just going to have to be really careful about the way they execute it.
Yeah, I think that's like the note of this set is execution. Because having the game plan start to formulate in response, that's a good sense of team right there. But to be able to just put it all together and make it happen right then and there is what really helps to curb that kind of momentum that we're starting to see from Frymans.
Yeah. Fryforce is definitely...
It's such an odd title. It sounds like an 80s grunge band.
I love that we're getting all these names that are like long and like random words, it seems like, put together.
I love the Splat scene. It's never a dull moment.
Okay, so we're going into game 3 here in on Ink Blot Zone. So both teams coming out here. Actually, Mothman going to be on that Hydra I had mentioned earlier. And then on the other side, we do see a Heavy Remix and a Dualies. I think those are definitely some interesting picks. But Dan starting off right away, getting 2 picks, and their teammates getting a 3rd. So it's just this Heavy Remix up. They are going to go down as well, as Dan is just leading this charge very aggressively.
Just able to bring right on forward. It's so difficult to press past this point if you have a team confidently positioned. And, ooh, all right, some very cute maneuvering to move around, but not going to be staying there for long. Lou Money finds the pick, and see if they can try to press out the point.
Yeah, Dan went down there, though, but guess what? Sombra is right there to be able to follow up on that, and Hamram. So you can see that they're backing up here. They know that Judgers has some specials ready, and they want to make sure that they guard the zone. And with Mothman here up on this top mid area on a Hydra of all things, that just sounds so scary to be able to come back into.
When it comes to zones on Inkblot, it's so difficult to press past this point because you're forced to use these specials and forced to execute as a team just to get out of your spawn. This is before you even get an opportunity to fight on the zone itself. And Judgers really hasn't had the opportunity to have that type of a presence. Trying to find their picks on that top tower, they're not going to have enough time for it. It is a swift 3-0 in favor of Bugman's.
Yeah, definitely. Bugman's synergy, I think, showed through so well there. But definitely a GG's to Judgers. We are really, really happy that they were able to come here and have this be their first tournament experience.
There really is, like, it's got to be nice to have your first offline tournament and have an opportunity to be on stream. Win or lose, like, now you have that opportunity to turn back, see what worked for the other team, what didn't work for you. Like, no matter what, that's just a win experience because you get to learn.
Yeah, you do get to learn if you watch back the stream and get to see the different points of view, especially. I think that's really something to make sure that they are able to highlight.
Like, one of the more valuable things about coming out to tournaments is that opportunity to learn in all different sorts of ways from other players, both how they play, how you see them play, how they play against you, and, like, the physicality of just asking someone, like, what to improve on.
Yeah, I mean, you think about, like, if you scrim someone and, like, after the scrim you DM them, hey, is there anything that you could think that I could do better? If you're here at a LAN, I mean, you can just walk up to someone and be like, hey, if you just played them, and ask them right there in person. So that's something I didn't think about, but that's a really good option.
It's just one of the beauties of being able to have events like this.
Yeah.
Like, Riptide really does have a lot to offer to people, whether it's their first LAN or